For this, we'll be demonstrating the website and the portal and how the virtual lab will be look like, and how to access the labs and how to perform the virtual labs. So for this, we have a portal called Cyber Security Skills, on which the mail IDs of the participants are already registered. We will be sending the details with respect to how to process and how to log in the virtual labs in detail. Meanwhile, we'll be explaining how this virtual lab will be look like. So this is the domain on which the virtual lab platform is hosted. It is cybersecurityskills.in/VLAB. So in this, as you see, we have a button called Get Started. Here, the email address of the participants need to be provided. Let's say for demonstration, we have our email ID, and the captcha need to be entered. So once this email ID and captcha is generated or entered, you can see that on the email ID which is provided, a OTP will be received with respect to the corresponding email OTP that ID. So here you can observe the OTP ID as well as the OTP. So this OTP need to be copied to validate the participant email ID. And again, for more security, the captcha has to be provided. And once you log in, here we have already certain slots which are already booked. But for the first time when you actually log in, you will be observing the screen called Available Virtual Labs. So here first we need to click on the Reserve VLAB slot, where this provides the kind of slot reservation to be booked initially. So once we need to select based on the time available time for us to actually perform the labs, we need to reserve the slots accordingly on a particular date. Now, accordingly, the slots will also be given as per the dates. Then we need to click on a particular date. Now, let's say here we are clicking on 9th December. Then we have all these kind of slots. Each slot will be of 20 minutes time. 20 to 30 minutes time, and there is a time gap again, some 10 to 15 minutes kind of break, because all the virtualization has to be reinitialized. So accordingly, we can also observe the colors. If there is a blue color in blank, means that the slot is available, and if it is green, that the slot is selected, and if the slot is already reserved, then you can observe the one sample that in gray color, which has already booked slots. So now let's say we are booking a slot about 12:50 p.m. to 1:20 p.m. Then accordingly, we need to click on the Reserve VLAB. So once we select the time and the date, then we can observe that the slot is reserved successfully. So once we get this message, then we can observe that the kind of slots which are already booked, that reservation will be observed on our screen. So now let's say once the slot is booked and the particular time has come to actually start the lab, then we can observe a small kind of notification on the same slot will be visible. Like here we can observe a slot is already booked from 9:30 to 10 o'clock, let's say. Then once it is logged in, we can observe the start VLAB. That means the particular time on which the slot is reserved, we can actually start our lab. So once you click on the slot, then we have to start the VLAB button. Then here, according to the labs or the day things, so this particular clients or the kind of machines which are already there to perform the particular task are already invoked for the clients or for the participants. And we can also observe the kind of controls here where the machine can be hidden. If we click on the hidden button, then we have a complete version of the lab document, how to perform. Also, we are planning to actually make all these labs available inside the VM also, or else the same can be available at the lab manual outside also. So according to the need, we can actually, or according to the participant kind of feature, then accordingly that can be visible. So once we click on this lab manual again show, then we can observe the kind of step-by-step procedure of the lab. So accordingly, the lab step-by-step can be seen and that can be performed. Now let's say in this particular thing, now let's say we are performing a kind of analysis on the Wireshark. Then accordingly, according to the step-by-step process, we need to click on the particular task. And we need to perform.
Click the time and
Okay. Actually, the time has come for this particular slot, so it has closed. But how this is, because as we said, there will be time for 10 to 15 minutes of slot for initialization of the work lab. So we also request the participants to actually do the practicals during the slot reservation time, because once it reaches the slot end time, it will automatically get closed. So whenever a slot is reserved, you please make sure that the available slot or the reserved slot is properly utilized so that the lab can be performed. So these are the kind of reserved slots again for this particular participant, so that at these kind of slots one can actually, once the time comes, then as we've seen in the previous case, the start VLAB button will be invoked, and during that particular time the lab can be performed, and once the time slot has come to an end, it will be automatically, the session will be closed. Okay, so this is how the lab will be look like, or the portal will be, and the same the process and the kind of credentials that can be used for the participants, that will be emailed shortly. So accordingly, the day-to-day labs can be performed, and as we discussed, this will be provided not only today, but we have some extension time also, so that according to the time of the participants, the concerned labs can be provided. But the only thing we also need to understand is for this reservation of the labs actually, so we need to, let's say we want to reserve the slot of, let's say today at 1:30 p.m. Then at least 15 minutes prior the slot has to be reserved, because the time window for reserving slots will be 15 minutes prior to the actual slot reservation time. So accordingly, the lab has to be reserved, and the slot will be available to the concerned participants. So as we also intimated in the previous thing is, currently these slots are reserved for a particular number of participants. So accordingly, the slots, once it is slots are reserved, then we can choose for the next day. I mean, if the slots are not available on 9th December, then according the slots can be reserved on the 10th December also. So as per the convenience of the participants, the scheduling can be done. Okay, so if you have any queries, then the same thing can be posted in the chat window, and we'll let you clarify on this. But as we intimated, the corresponding mail communication will be sent to all the participants, and how to actually perform, and the step-by-step process will also be intimated in the same email. Thank you.